Zoom capacity alave?
Sir, 500, sir.
Okay.
Sir, 500 plus idu work, sir. Live work. Yeah, YouTube live work.
Sir, paathuta, sir.
Okay. Sir,
the participant enable panni vittaralam neenga. Waiting room enable pannittingana you need not go for admit each one.
Yes, sir. Actually, we didn't fix any password for the same, so it's not able to disable the waiting room, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Shall I start, sir?
Yes, Subha, everything is ready. You can go.
Okay. Research without designing is like getting into a taxi and just saying drive. Experienced researchers are frequently believe in research as a necessity for good design, and our last 4 sessions, experienced researchers had thought in that way. As like all past 4 days, today we are going to gather more knowledge about research design from Dr. Sethu, a well-experienced professor in research and statistics and global and a gold medalist in Master of Physical Education and UGC JR awardee. To welcome our today's resource person, Dr. Sethu, I call upon Dr. Rukmani, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, Annamalai University.
Subha, start paniklama?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. It's my pleasure to welcome you all in the virtual venue. This is Dr. K. Rukmani, Department of Business Administration, Annamalai University. We are in the 5th day of National Workshop and Pathway to Research Excellence. Department of Population Studies, Annamalai University, and jointly organized by Department of Business Administration, Annamalai University. In this grand eve, Dr. K. Shivakumar is going to give the overview of university. He is going to made out to be about the arts and science faculties of Annamalai University. Thank you very much for the great job, sir. I am welcoming you on behalf of this webinar organizers. And I am cordially inviting Dr. S. Sethu, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education and Sports, Monnanmaniam Sundaran University, Tirunelveli. And he is the project coordinator at the Center for Special and Movement Education under the scheme of school education MHRD project, and he also the director of Center for Data Processing and Center for Campus Development, and he is also a nodal officer of NIRF MSU, PFMS MSU, TSA MSU. For this informative workshop about research. In this 5th day of this workshop, our resource person is going to deliver his speech about the topic research design. Welcome, sir. I am welcoming all the organizing committee members, course directors, organizing secretaries of this national webinar. Last but not the least, and welcoming budding research scholars of various colleges and universities from various departments and from various states who all are gathered here to get knowledge about the research. It's very much appreciable that those who all are participating all sessions daily. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our Annamalai University extending its knowledge generation role to various countries in this globe. Its function is to provide able, self-directed learners. Our alumni are shining all over the world as independent and confident. Annamalai University giving its contribution to society through leadership and civic duties, adding more contribution to the languages and education by research and project. We are delivering some glimpse of our university faculties daily. On the way, in the part of overview of university, today Dr. K. Shivakumar sir is having some interesting information about Faculty of Education and Faculty of Language of Annamalai University. Our scholars are fervently Expecting, sir, please unmute yourself and talk.
Good morning. This is Shivakumar from MBA department. I would like to tell about the Faculty of Education and Faculty of Education, which is started in the year 1953. Now it has 4 departments under Faculty of Education: Department of Education, Department of Psychology, Department of Physical Education. 5. A separate building for the department was inaugurated by former President of India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. All the teachers' education programs are recognized by alumni of this department worked as Vice Chancellors of Tamil Nadu in various universities. Regarding Psychology Department, it was established in the year 1961 as a postgraduate and research center. Psychology Department in India. Regarding the physical education, this department is they also offer so much of programs from BPA to PhDs, and in Annamalai University is the pioneer in yoga education in India, established in the year 1960. Trained more than 150,000 students in yoga. They conduct a lot of PG diplomas programs, MSc. Regarding Faculty of Indian Languages, this faculty was established by Raja Sir Annamalai Chettiar. As University, as a Center for Tamil Learning and Research. Regarding the department of this faculty, there are 4 departments: Department of Tamil Studies and Research, Department of Hindi, Department of Sanskrit, and Center for Advanced Studies in Linguistics. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Audio clear.
Thank you, sir. I'm very much grateful to introduce our resource person, Dr. S. Sedu, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education and Sports, Manonmaniyam Sundaranar University, Tirunelveli. He's having over 20 years of experience in this field of teaching. He is a doctor in Master of Physical University, and also he is a university gold medal in PG. He had been served as an academic director, alumni secretary, NAT committee coordinator, etc. He had published more than 100 papers in national and international journals. He has visited more than 6 countries and served as project coordinator and invigilator for some projects. It's great honor to listen your words and experience, sir. Our time is growing to hear your words in this national workshop, sir. Please unmute yourself and talk.
Thank you so much. Most respected and Honorable Vice Chancellor of Annamalai University, respected Registrar, respected Dean, and respected Head of the Department, Dr. A.K. Ravisankar sir, and Department of Population Studies, and Dr. G. Uday Suryan sir, Professor and Head Department of Business Administration, and the organizing secretaries of this one-week program, Dr. D. Frank Junior Justice, Associate Professor and Deputy Director of Directorate of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and Dr. M. Ravi Prakash, Associate Professor, Department of Population Studies, and other organizing committee members, distinguished participants. Very good morning, one and all. Really, I am fortunate today to present on this virtual platform to share my knowledge, which I gained for the past 20 years in teaching research process. First of all, I would like to thank the Department of Population Studies and Management for giving this beautiful opportunity. Every opportunity is a payment for me to strengthen my research area. I used to say in all the platform, whenever I got as a resource person in any webinar, opportunity, if you think any assignment to is a work, then you will not learn or you will not update further. If anything comes to you, you can receive as an opportunity, God given a new opportunity, then automatically you will learn something. So today I thought this opportunity and platform will enrich something in addition to my existing knowledge on research. For that, I would like to thank once again the Department of Population Studies and Department of Management for giving a beautiful platform. With this, I would like to go with my title. Yeah. Ma'am, I hope my presentation is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Is it in full screen mode?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. Right. So the title today, Research Design. Already the experts are highlighted about the different aspects of research. If you take the anatomy of the research, there are many bones and muscles are there in research, out of which I'm going to concentrate a few things. Research design. Luckily, all the books listed here tells the same story. I am also going to share the same story by referring these books, because today my presentation to the different populations or different sample here. I am concerned with the physical education, but the participants who are gathered on this platform are from Department of Management, Population, Social Science, Physical Education. So for which, I am gathered the overall or a unique concept about the research design explained by different disciplines. So that's why I have listed, but almost all the books listed here are convey the same message, but a slight difference on the name of the design, the approach, only the name difference, but otherwise the concepts are same. There is no change in it. So we can discuss further. I hope I am going to cover all the research design which you might aware of in your research tenure or your research process. Hopefully, suppose if I missed anything, kindly put in the message box, sir, explain this design which I come across during my research process. Surely either I will update you, otherwise update myself, and I will come up with new ideas in the next presentation maybe. So I hope I am also going to learn with your interaction because research is a process. We can go in depth in research. There is no end because it's a process. Education is a process. Research also is a process. So hopefully I am also going to learn with your interaction then and there, because I am expecting many interaction today. My concepts, my presentation always restricted with to apply to the field of physical education and sports. Today I am opening to the common category of faculty of arts or the area of social science. So definitely I may learned something new today for the presentation, as well as I am expecting to learn from you with your interaction. Okay, next we will move on to why research design. And before that, I would like to convey something to you. Many of the researchers are here. Even when I am entering into the research process during 2003, when I was registered my PhD during 2003, 2003, I was also afraid and hesitate how I am going to complete my research process within the stipulated time period. This was the question in front of me, whether I am entering with a error-free research or I am going to entering into the 100% of error. So dear participants, scholars, teachers are here. It is my opinion. If I am wrong, please convey your added points to my presentation. Always. So I thought when you are starting or commencing your research process, you are in the room of 100% error. You are standing at the center, around you, all error possibilities are there to commence your research. No one, I am challenging here, and I am giving an open statement that no one in the research process are able to complete a research with a 0% error. Not at all possible. I hope with my 20 years of experience and research, even the last week when my scholar submitted, I updated myself. SPSS is not possible to use everyone for data analysis as because it is a commercial software. So it is not possible to enter the SPSS, this or that version used in my research process unless otherwise if you are purchased. See, what do you mean by purchase? That you have to get the license. The license should be renewed every year. Yeah, earlier it is not like that. If you purchase a software, you can install it in your desktop. It is offline. You can work for a year. It's a lifetime license. But recently, the IBM purchased the SPSS from the owner during 2009. Now the name of the SPSS also changed. Previously, it is called as a statistical package for social sciences. Now it is called as a statistical products and service solutions. IBM SPSS is named as a statistical product and service solutions. That is the expansion of SPSS now. So you have to update. If you are connected to the internet, automatically they will monitor whether you are licensed or not. So we can't escape from the license issues. So these are all the learning previously I got it because I have mentioned many years. Under my guidance, there are 13 students who were awarded. So I used to put the SPSS version 25, 27, like that. But recently I learned it's a commercial software. We can't use it. So what is the alternative? As a researcher, we will find there are two alternatives are there. According to my knowledge, one is RStudio, other one is Python. So I used Python for my candidate who submitted the last week for computing the inferential statistic because the Python and RStudio is an open source software. That's why I want to convey the message here. Please, researcher, you can try to reduce the error as maximum as possible. That's why I put the second slide. You are entering 100% error while commencing your research and try to be the best and try to reduce the maximum error either this way, that way. So here today we are going to discuss a title which is called as a research design, which help us to reduce the maximum error in the research process. The maximum error in the research process. So that's why a researcher must have the knowledge on research design thoroughly. So research design, it is a key to find a proper answer. It unlocks something. It guides something. And you can't select this design may be best or this design may be best. Based on the threats to your research, based on the threat, there are two kinds of threat, internal and external threats to the validity of the research may be controlled by selecting a suitable design. And it is very sad to convey the message today that many researchers may not plan or work on the methodology of the research, what we are going to carry out in the future. They simply start the work and they thought the selection of title is the Herculean task. I have selected a beautiful title. Okay, that's all. My process is over. Hereafter, I will complete my research. Even while you are selecting your title, immediately after the literature survey, you have to finalize your research design. It is a very, very toughest job. The selection of title or the research problem itself a problem. Once you have selected a very nice title which will speak your name in the future, further you have to design the experimental design. So why I said there is no best type of study design, because the context of the research or the assumption, the paradigm and the perspectives decides the type of research methodology. While you comment something is different and during the process it's something different, at the end it may be different. So accordingly you have to select the research design which will control the maximum error in your research process. So I need not mention about the negative things here. The sayings by Warren Pepper, the achievers. Okay. So a great saying. I don't want to use that negative word here. I'm always be a positive thinker. So if you plan well, definitely everything will be carried out smoothly, and the research process may be a lively and memorable one in everyone's lives. Dear scholars, you are allotted 3 years or 2 years to complete your research work at doctorate level. Kindly use that 3 years. Don't use at the last 1 month or 6 months to complete your research process. Why we allotted? Because the selection of title itself a problem. I know the task how researchers or the teachers are suffering to select nowadays. Those days we can't find the duplicate, we can't find the replications, but today once you put the title into the search engine, automatically it will brings a lot of work which was carried out earlier. So we want to go with a unique title, a novel and a new one, for which we are trying here and there and modifying this and that. Finally, we come up with a good title. It also a process. It's not an easy task to take, because most of the scholars, they come, they say, sir, please give me a title. It's not possible to buy a title. We have to work on it. We have to think on it, on the the methodology of the research, is it possible to carry out? So to give all such kind of idea, if you have a good knowledge on research design, definitely there is no hurdles, the maximum of hurdles you can carry over, you can overcome, and you can come up with a good findings for the society. And hello,
Sir?
ma'am, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
My voice is clear?
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Suppose if any break is there, kindly inform me.
Sure, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. So research design is nothing but a blueprint and a strategic plan and structural framework of your research work. So a research design is a kind of blueprint that we prepare before actually carrying out a research. And research design is the strategic plan of the project, which sets out how to carry out the entire research work as per the time schedule, as we recommended or suggested during the proposal preparations. It sounds like architect plan to construct a house. See, the plan was given by the engineer, but it was executed by the mason. He doesn't have any academic background or any knowledge, with only experiences based on the architect plan. He can be able to construct a beautiful house. So the guidance given to him is the architect plan. What is the size? What is the width? What is the thickness? Which material to be used? Where the curvature will come? Where the empty space? Where the open space? These are all very clearly explained in the architect plan. The same way, if you choose the right research design, it will explain how you can carry over your research one by one. So I said the purpose of the research design, it provides an opportunity to the researcher to foresee possible areas of problem in the research process. It will help you, it will guide you. Many researchers at the end of the report only, they simply said, in my research work, I have used random group design or static group comparison design or qualitative design, quantitative design. But it should be decided at the beginning. Before commencing your research work, you have to decide a suitable and appropriate research design which will fulfill your objectives of research work. Many of the scholars, they only, even during the Viva's examination only, they want to get the answer for what is research design, which type of research design I have used in my study, what kind of sampling techniques are used in my study. Until they never bother about this, because they have some kind of format which was kept in the library. So automatically they follow that same format and they used to go with the traditional pattern of preparing the research report. It's a biggest task in the research process to design the appropriate research design. Okay, where this research design comes. So here we see the anatomy of the research or the steps in research. So once we finalize the title, research problem, with the support of the literature survey, we are going to formulate the hypothesis. Hypothesis is it is only a tentative answer, the validity of which to be tested later. How the validity will be verified later. with the data only. How the data will be collected, where the data will be collected, how the population or sample will be taken from the sampling frame, how the sampling frame will be decided. In which population I am going to take the sampling frame. From the universe, how I am going to select the population. There are different areas that are available. Very simple. We simply explain that I have selected a random sampling. Random sampling, it does not come straight away. So first we are in the universe. Universe, there are different kind of populations are there. First you have to decide the population. Universe is entire and whole. Subsequently, you can go the next steps. So these and all will be guided with the help of research design. These all such methodological procedures will be guided by the once you selected this design, then your path will be decided. You are directed in a path. You can go accordingly. You can go this way because your path is already decided. எந்த வழியில போகணும் அப்படிங்கறது இந்த டிசைன் உங்களுக்கு கைட் பண்ண பிறகு ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா அந்த வழியை நோக்கி நீங்க பயணிக்க முடியும். Then you can carry out original research, error, try to reduce the error. So it finds the third stage in the anatomy of the research. Again, the same thing. So if you go with, that's for a quantitative, maybe it's a qualitative. So research idea, research design, then followed by data collection, analysis of data, and presenting the reports. So before the data collection, you have to decide the research design. So the research design is the important process or steps in the research process. So once again, I want to insist to all the research scholars and budding researcher. So the steps are the position of the research design before data collection, not after the analysis of the data. Many of us, while we are going to writing the report, that time only we want to mention which type of research design I have applied in my stream. No. So it should be decided before the data collection process, sampling process. Then the characteristics of a research design. Why we want to apply the research design? What are all the characteristics? So the one is the neutrality. Neutrality is nothing but free from bias. Free from bias. It should not favor either to the subjects or either to the researcher. It should be neutral. It should be neutral. The second one, reliability. Yes. Every work must be reliable, recognizable. So it must possess the reliability or the consistency with the research already conducted, already published. The validity of your research work. How the tools, method of data collections, statistical tools applied, whether it is a valid, which will be proved. If you select this design, automatically it will recommend which type of tools or statistical technique will be applied in your research. The research design explain these methodological point very clearly. So automatically your research possesses the validity, reliability, neutrality. Because while selection of subject, there are a possibility for bias. So that bias may be avoided by choosing the appropriate statistics. And the generalization, that is the the main aspects of research. Whatever you conducted, whatever the findings you derived from the sample, it may be applicable to the sampling frame and population by the way to the universe. Because it is very tough to carry out the research with the entire population. It's a time constraints. It takes a lot of energy, it requires a lot of energy, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time. Rather, we can go with a sample it is easy to administrate the feasible of conducting the research is quite comfort with a researcher. So these are all the characteristics of research design. That's why we need to finalize the research design well in advance. And the key elements of the research design. In research designs, what are the components are discussed? What are the components are need to given attention? One is the methods of research. We will discuss one by one the elements of the research design. Sampling technique, I hope in the previous sessions, already the sampling techniques were handled by the experts. And the tools of data collections, like research in social sciences, where they depend upon number of tools, either standardized tools or researcher-made tools. So the instruments, sampling process, variable methods, and type of statistical tools, these are all the key elements of research design. And regarding the methods of research, here there are different types of data: primary data, observational design, and operational design. These are all the main part of the research design, as we discussed in the previous slides, the key elements of the research design. So the same explained elaborately in this slide. The method of data collections and sampling design and statistical design, these are all the key components of each research design. ஒவ்வொரு research design நீங்க எடுத்த உடனே இந்த 3 காம்போனன்ட்டுமே அதுல இருக்கும். நம்ம ஒரு டிசைனை பத்தி அடுத்து நெக்ஸ்ட் படிக்க போறோம். அந்த டிசைனை நீங்க படிக்கும் போது இந்த 3 பத்தின விஷயம் அதுல இருக்கும். Very simple. It's very simple. Okay. So this is, we can call it as a research paradigm. There are 3 components of research. There are 3 components of research. One is the research proposal. Another one is the execution of research work, carrying out the research work, or the practical component of research. And next one, report. So see, it's a cycle, either this side or that side. If you go forward, it is feed forward. If you go back, it's called as a feedback. In the research process, we used these 2 terms. Feed forward, that means once the data gathering is correct, then next you can go analysis. That's called as a feed forward. If your process of data collection is not correct, then you have to go feedback. Where you have to feed the strategy. So change the design, change the strategy, change the methodology. Again, you have to feed forward, and then you can carry out the research work. Once it is fine, you can feed again to the forward. That's feed forward and feedback. So research is a process. I am again and again telling that no one can stop the research in any aspect. No one can find the end of research in any particular discipline or in any specific topic. A research is endless. It goes depth in depth in depth. So it's a cyclic process. So where we are and where we have to manipulate, where we have to decide the research design. So first aspects of the research design, select the suitable method of your research. Are you following qualitative, quantitative, or a mixed method? Please, research scholars who are gathering in this virtual platform, my question is to hear, once if you are starting the research process, நீங்க எல்லாம் PhD register பண்ணி processல இருக்கீங்கன்னா, my first question is, which type of research is yours? Quantitative, qualitative, mixed method? Please answer this question. Write this question in the paper. Try to answer the question, or at least try to find out the answer now. Which method? The next one, population and sample. So I will discuss the population and sample at the end of this presentation. I have a slide. Here my question, how you are going to select the sample? Please, again, you can ask yourself, what is my population? Put the question first. What is my population? Then what is my sampling frame? Dear participants, first you have to select the population from the universe. Universe is the entire thing. Population is not the entire thing. Population is one particular aspect of the universe. So universe is the entire, from which we have to select the population, whether you defined your population. And again, the second question is whether it is a finite population or infinite population. If it is a finite, then you can count the number. It is possible to count the number of your population. Then your sampling frame will be different. Sir, in my study, I think mostly the manager.
Hello, madam. Madam, I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, my laptop is reconnecting again. I will join with my iPad. I will continue.
No problem.
So once it will get ready. Okay.
Okay.
I am sharing the content screen. Okay. Ma'am, my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. But
Hello.
your entire screen is showing.
Yeah. Okay. So the next process of how to and statistical tool, you are going to analysis whether it is So non-parametric, which
Sir, excuse me. If I'm correctly, your audio is unstable, sir.
ma'am,
Your audio is unstable, sir.
unstable. Now it's clear.
Continue, sir.
Ma'am, I have joined through laptop. Kindly give me a co-host. Ma'am, I have joined through laptop.
You're already being as a co-host, sir. 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 Being as a
Now I am joined again, Save Sankaran, one more device. Kindly give me. Now I am joined again, one more device. Kindly give me. Thank you.
Sorry, dear participants. Now, okay.
Yes, sir. You're able to see your screen and voice clear.
Now it is audible.
Yes, sir, it's clear. Please continue, sir.
Thank you. The next one, data collection process and how the specific tools are used to collect the data, and followed by time schedule or timeline of research work. Here I have highlighted with the green box. Will be decided. See, the initial period, it is 36 months, almost 3 years duration. So reading the literature, finalize your objectives, then again literature review, and then research design. Yes. Okay. Fine. So the other processes are left out. So here you see at the end of the first year to finalize the suitable research design. My presentation view la varudunga.
No, sir.
It to come, no?
No, sir. We are not able to see. Sir, if possible, kindly reset your internet connection, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, audible irukla ma'am?
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
Sorry once again, dear participants. Right. So this is the easy way to finalize your research process or select your research design. Here I have used the bricks. At the bottom you are seeing your research question, and the next process your type of research work, whether it is a qualitative or a quantitative or a mixed research. And the next one, the data collecting process, then data analysis. Here you can easily decide based on your research question which type of approach you are going to use and which type of data method you have to use, followed by the analysis, whether it is a quantitative or a qualitative analysis, followed by your findings and publication of results. So I request all the research scholars, I would like to share this PPT presentation to everyone. I will provide this PPT to the organizers. Please get it from them. And you can use these slides for finalizing your area of research work. And here I am giving an example for the experimental research. So first you have to start with your question from the literature review or from the induction arised from your mind, by which you can come up with a research problem. And now I put the title in the top itself. It is experimental research. So my approach is experiment. Then if I am using the experiment, what is the data collection procedure? It's observation method, no doubt. So if I conducting the test or taking the measurement by conducting the test, that comes under the observation method. So once you measure something, either it is a number, then automatically you can go with the quantitative. Sometimes you can also use both quantitative and qualitative. That comes under the mixed method. From the quantitative analysis with the statistical result, you can come up with the findings of research work and your work may be published. So this is a one step. So this will be guided by your research design. Then if it is a social science research process, grounded theory. Grounded theory is nothing but You have collecting a data. Finally, you are come up with a theory. Finally, you are come up with a hypothesis like inductive research method. There are two types, inductive and deductive. So while you go with the inductive research method, finally you are you have some ideas and you are collecting the data related to the ideas. Finally, you are come up with a theory. This theory is grounded in the data which you collected. So yeah, it is a hidden aspects, a hidden theory. By collecting the data, you are bring up with a theory which is grounded in need. That's called as a grounded theory works. So for which the question, the type of approach is grounded and followed by observation method, qualitative analysis, because here the observation only, what happens, what changes. So you can go with the qualitative, answer your research question, finally go for publication. Then second one, purpose. So the purpose of the research work. Survey here, the approach is survey, whether you can use questionnaire or interview. Both tool may be applicable for the survey types of research. Even here also you can choose quantitative or qualitative and go for discussion and publication of research. And next one, case study. Case study is also one of the descriptive research method. So where you are collecting the secondary data, the data may be numerical or the data may be qualitative. So you can use both quantitative and qualitative analysis and go. So these will be guided by the research design. That's why I would like to highlight these things, because many of us have a doubt. What is my next step? What is my next step? What is my next step? Simply we take a thesis from the library or website, just whatever prescribed in that, we blindly follow that procedure, and finally we come up with some results. So here I am given an example. Your question is, which jobs fit my skill and interest? This is my area of question. So what is your approach? So survey of jobs and industries. So எனக்கு வந்து என்னுடைய ஸ்கில்லுக்கு சூட்டபிள் ஆகிற மாதிரி எனக்கு ஒரு ஒர்க் கிடைக்கணும் அப்படிங்கறதுக்கா நான் பார்க்கணும்னா நெக்ஸ்ட் மை அப்ரோச் என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? நெக்ஸ்ட் ஐ ஹவ் டு செலக்ட் யுவர் ஜாப் and industries. Okay. Your jobs and industries. Then how to collect the data? Interviews, secondary data, and the analysis method, qualitative, quantitative, and sort list of the position and company. These are all the position, and these companies are suitable to me. I have to write application letter to that position, to the corresponding company. This is the way to start your process and end with your research process. So here the example is given for the qualitative research question and quantitative research question and mixed method research question. In quantitative, where you have some kind of information on numerical form, but qualitative you have a factual information in the form of words. So that comes under the qualitative research question. How does mental health influence help seeking behaviors among teens with mental health problem in a low income neighborhood in Ghana? So this is the research question format for qualitative. Small changes. How? The qualitative will answer how. Eppadi. So here you have to describe some kind of information words or sentence to describe the influence of mental health on help-seeking behaviors. But second aspects, quantitative research question where you are collecting or measuring the behavior of an individual with the presence of independent variable called as a mental health stigma. So you have some kind of assessment tool here by which you will get some kind of data. That data will be used in the statistical analysis. That data will be used in the statistical analysis. Then mixed method, I recommend the scholars to go for a mixed method. The recently reputed journals expecting a work from the mixed method. Most of us, we are stick on with the statistical result alone. We have collected the numerical value. That numerical value will be posted into the machine called as a statistics. Statistics gives some result with a form of only one value, a single value, saying significant difference exists or not exists. From the numerical value collected from your research work, it explains only the difference exists or not, relationship exists or not. But it doesn't explain what is the reason for these difference. What is the reason for this relationship? Dear scholars, if any difference of opinion in my statement, kindly put up the message in the chat box. Many of our research work depends on only the statistical result. It's a number like the ingredients put into the mixie will grind and give a juice. Suppose if you use apple, sugar, flavor, milk, 4 or 5 ingredients, finally you will get only one output, which is called as a apple juice. After tasting it, you are simply say it's good. Okay, it's not good. Why it's not good? Why it's good? If you can able to explain clearly, that is the outcome of your research. Compare the same into your research work. You are selecting the sample, approaching them by using the appropriate tool, collecting the data from them. You have a numerical value with us. That numerical value put into the formula of statistics. Statistics doesn't know the sense of the number, whether the number 10 is from the home number, whether the 10 from the rank, whether the 10 from the Celsius, or whether the 10 from the meter or kilogram, doesn't know. By using the formula, finally you are come up with one output, a single value, which says difference exists or not, significant or not significant. Relationship, significant, not significant. Then you are coming with a result. There was no significant difference between group 1 and 2. There was no relationship between this and that. Okay, good. It's only a statistical result. What about the researcher result? Why this difference exists? Why this difference not exist? Justify with the reasons. Where you can take the reasons. Without conducting the qualitative research work from the participants, then you can't come up with a valid findings of your research work. So I request and recommend everyone who gathered here, go with the quantitative, maybe we call it as a mixed method, sequential explanatory research design. Okay, next. So these are all some of the advantages of quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative somewhat scientific in nature, more scientific, more verifiable. It is more reliable, objective and valid. But qualitative is somewhat, it conveys a message, but you can't say as valid as possible. Even if your research work, by conducting the qualitative research, எதனால இந்த இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் நடந்தது, எதனால இந்த டிஃபரன்ஸ் வந்தது அப்படிங்கிறத நீங்க கேட்டு 10 சாம்பிள்கிட்ட ஒரு பை இன்டர்வியூ மெத்தட்ல இஃப் யூ ஆர் obtaining the data and presenting in your research, it is not applicable to the entire world. Okay, partially it was taken. That is the problem of the qualitative. That's why many people is going for the quantitative. Okay, so the qualitative, the scientific appropriateness comparatively qualitative is less. That's the problem. Because of this issue, we need to face internal and external validity issues. Internal validity relates with the study conducted. External validity relates with the real world settings. Whether your problem, because many of us we are using in the laboratory or some prescribed settings, controlled settings, whether this study output will be applicable to the real world setting. These are all the some of the threats. It may be answered with the help of research design. Here the different type of research based on the criteria, based on the objectives or purpose of the research work, it was classified fundamental, applied, and action. Fundamental is nothing but developing theory. Applied is nothing but the theory developed in fundamental will be tested. Action, immediate problems arises in the classroom settings or medical and psychological issues that comes under action research. Then based on the nature of the data, whether it is a qualitative and quantitative, if it is a quantitative, numerical form of expression, and qualitative, it is a factual expression with words. The nature of findings, explanatory is nothing but causal research, cause and effect. It comes under the experimental. It talks about the data. It come up with the data. It is testing the theory. It is testing the hypothesis. That comes under the explanatory. And exploratory, some idea generated within your mind. That idea may be supported by gathering the data through interview, questionnaire, or focus group discussion. It's based on some qualitative approach. And descriptive, nothing but presenting as it is. The current status of the things will be presented as it is in a different form. That's all. A data is presented in a or a accepted form to the audience. That's called as a descriptive, like survey, case study. This all comes under descriptive. Then experimental, non-experimental. Experimental by giving the intervention or treatment or training. Non-experimental, just like, by using some post facto, not post facto, comparative design, static group comparison design. These are all comes under non-experiment. Relationship study, comparative study, these are all comes under the non-experimental design. And based on the approach, either it is a longitudinal or cross-sectional. Both are comes under the observational research or developmental research. Okay. So longitudinal, a study is conducted for a period of time. Crossover, different sample tested at only once. Longitudinal, the same sample tested for a period of time. Okay. So there are 3 approaches of research mainly to design the design: qualitative approach, quantitative approach, mixed method approach. So what are all the quantitative research design? Quantitative research design maximum focus on the data with the numerical sense. That's a quantitative research design. And qualitative, it takes the real sense. We can interact with the sample either in the form of interview or questionnaire, by which if we are collecting the data, we can come up with some very good solutions. But the researcher must possess enormous a scholarly knowledge, a sound scholarly knowledge, so that the qualitative research work will be done. It is not easy to collect data through interview from the sample. If you are excellent and your questionnaire or your forms of questions and the schedule must be designed very carefully so that only you can collect the data from the sample. Otherwise, it is very tough. That's why the many people are hesitated to take qualitative research design, qualitative research for their research work. That's why they very simply go for quantitative. You know, in quantitative, very easy. It's like a machine work. It's like a format. Simply we can go with a tool, giving the tool to them. They will fill up from the response. We are getting the data. That data will be supplied to the statistical formula. Then we will get the answer and we will write the results with the statistical evidence. So it's very easy to conduct the quantitative, but qualitative is somewhat very, very tough. But if you go with the both, definitely you will come up with the outcome which may be useful to the society, no doubt at all, which may be useful to the society. It will speak your name also. It will speak your name also. So qualitative research and quantitative research, the difference, the meaning, analysis tool, how the data are expressed and how the sample are selected for the study, how the questions are framed, either it is a closed question under qualitative research work, very defined, limited, very controlled. But qualitative, it's open. It's a natural settings. Maximum the research works are done on the qualitative research, you know, it's the research conducted under natural settings, and quantitative research are conducted under the controlled settings. Okay. So here we have a prescribed measurement instrument, measurement tools by which we will collect the data. Here we will use the understanding the context, complexity, and the subjectivity. சூழ்நிலையை பார்த்து அதிலிருந்து புரிந்து கொண்டு நம்மளுக்கு தேவையான தகவல்களை எடுத்து அதை ஆராய்ந்து பார்க்கக்கூடியது குவாலிட்டேட்டிவ். குவான்டிடேட்டிவ், go give the tool, collect the information, come up and use the statistics. Easy, systematic. அதனாலதான் அதுல வந்து ஒரு பெரிய expert knowledge is not required to carry out the quantitative, but qualitative require the expert knowledge. So based on which the research designs are classified quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods. These are all the again comparison. While we share the PPT, you can learn. But the main agenda of this presentation now, just only I am coming now the 11:15. I hope I will try to complete within the stipulated time. These are all the designs: quantitative designs, qualitative design, and mixed method. Okay. So quantitative, experimental design, non-experimental design. Non-experimental design is nothing but survey. Experimental design, there are three types. We will discuss one by one. Then longitudinal design. Already we discussed about the longitudinal, maybe time series design or crossover design, or cross-sectional or time over design. This comes under the longitudinal. Qualitative, narrative research. Narrative research is nothing but prescribing a story of a person. Then phenomenology, again, the person's experiences are observed, recorded, based on which come up with some solution is called as the phenomenology. Grounded theory, already I explained. Ethnographics is nothing but studying about the culture and lifestyle of the different people from different geographical location. This comes under the ethnography. And case studies, studying about the particular case, studying about an individual, an event, an organization. That comes under the case study. Mixed convergent method. In the convergent, there are again one more type is a concurrent method is there. Then explanatory sequential, exploratory sequential, and complex designs. So many research books are classified the research design according to these categories, except medical department where they have some because in medical department they always dealt with a single subject, a particular case. So for them, the design is somewhat different. Apart from the social sciences, almost all the books are prescribing these designs alone. So quantitative, again, there are classifications. And finally, all these designs are come up with these triangle. First, the views, the philosophical views of the researcher. Whether he will approach with the positivist or post-positivist approach, or in between some triangulation method. In between some triangulation method. So, ma'am, again, you can give co-host, share panamla. Yeah, okay. Okay. Right. So, philosophical views, whether you are starting with a positivistic approach or post-positivistic approach. The positivistic approach is nothing but a quantitative approach, and post-positivistic or naturalistic approach is nothing but a qualitative approach. And then the design, whether quantitative, qualitative, again coming up the same, the research methods, all comes under the umbrella of three categories: quantitative, qualitative, or mixed. So here the paradigm was given very clearly, starting with a positivistic inquiry to the naturalistic inquiry, that is constructivism. So these are all the quantitative or positivistic approach of research design. It comes experimental and non-experimental designs. These are all triangulated and combining both, and the qualitative. So these are all explained in different approach in a different book. That's why I want to communicate all. And these are all the also very simply expressed with a chart regarding the research design. Quantitative, I said non-experimental and experimental. So we are going to study about these three, and this is very easy. Survey only, it's a survey, collecting the data and presenting into the different form, that also explained later. And these are all. So analytical study is nothing but there are two. One is a philosophical, another one is a historical, and one more meta-analysis. Meta-analysis or review. Review synthesis. This all comes under the analytical type of research design. Okay. So quantitative research design. First, these are all the checklist. Dear participants, it was given in the Creswell and Creswell book, 2018, Research Design, the best book. All the contents which was explained in my presentation were taken from this book, Creswell and Creswell. Okay. So these are all the points. See, you are seeing the points here. Checklists for your survey method. Most of the social science students are conducting the survey research. So before going to your survey research, kindly fill this form. Is the purpose of a survey design started, or the reason for choosing the design mentioned? Is the nature of the survey identified? Cross-sectional, longitudinal. Mostly we cross-sectional. We have a multiple sample and tested only once. But very rare, the people are selecting a longitudinal survey where the samples are tested in a period of time, maybe 3 years, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, observing the changes of human growth during the age of 2, 6, 8, 10, like that. Okay. So here the table very clearly explains the non-experimental design, kindly check. I will explain the only one table here from here. Group comparison. So it's a static group comparison. You have 2 or 3 groups. Next, you have to answer number of independent variables. Only one. Number of dependent variables. Only one. Number of independent variable is nothing but group. Maybe age classification, maybe gender classification, maybe education level classification, maybe social status classification. Number of dependent variable is nothing but criterion variable, the outcome variable. So here one and only one. Whether is there any control variable in your study? No. Or we call it as a covariate. Many of us, we are not using or try to controlling the covariate in our study. Covariate in our study. It's one of the big title. If I want to explain that covariate, it take another 1 hour. Okay, so only we simply compare male or female on this, or urban and rural on this. Try to control the covariate or eliminate the effect of covariate from your research work. Okay. Then whether it is a categorical or continuous. Yes.
Sir?
Then independent variable is a categorical.
Excuse me. Sir, sorry, sir. Actually, we have valedictory session on 11:30, sir. We need to conclude soon, sir.
Yes, yes,
All
yes, I will.
dignitaries will arrive soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. And then continuous variable, your measuring variable. Continuous variable, the variable which is measured is called as a continuum. Okay. The counted variable are called as a categorical. Number of male, number of female. The distribution, if it is a normal distribution, go for parametric. See the parametrical statistical test, t-test. So what the test is? A comparison of the two groups in terms of outcome, in terms of dependent variable. So this is a non-experimental design for comparative and relationship study. Use these slides for your presentation, for your research work. Then experimental research design. So here the 3 concepts: maximize the experimental variable, minimize the error variable, control the extraneous variable. That is the concept of experimental design. So the main aspects of experimental design is to whether you have a manipulation, control group, randomization of group. In the 3 base panita 12 designs experimental design la pre-experimental design, true experimental design, quasi-experimental design based on the 3. Okay. So manipulation irunda adu or study, illena adu or design. Manipulation is nothing but independent variable now. Your treatment, your intervention, your training, effect of food implementation or nutritional supplementation or effect of walking. This is called as an independent variable. The experimental study is nothing but effect of independent variable on dependent variable. Dependent is the outcome. Dependent is the outcome variable, measured variable. Okay. And control group, whether the control group, control group only explains the influence of extraneous variable. The influence of extraneous variables may be eliminated with the presence of control group in your study. I think mostly the social science researcher are not taking the experimental design. And the third one is the randomization is nothing but the groups may be randomly divided. The subject may be randomly chosen. So again, the checklist for the experimental design, use the checklist. The left side, you can put the tick mark. And the left side, you can put the tick mark. Okay. So these are all the different types of experimental design. I will explain easily with this slides. One short case study, one group pre-test and post-test design, and static group comparison design. So here, yes. All right, this is called as a statistical group. These are the designs.
Sir,
Which supports. Yes, ma'am.
sir, please, sir.
Okay, ma'am. I have 2 minutes to go. So, and the next one, qualitative research design. And again, the checklist. These are all the qualitative format. Mixed method, I said, hybrid. There is a fuel as well as the power bank, electric car. So both facilities are available in the same car. That's called as a mixed method, qualitative and quantitative. Making the quantitative and qualitative, making a new ideas. So this is a sequential explanatory, sequential exploratory. முதல்ல qualitative, ரெண்டாவது quantitative. அவ்வளவுதான் ஆர்டர் மாறும். அதுக்கப்புறம் ரெண்டையுமே சேர்த்து, ரெண்டு ஜூஸ் இருக்குன்னா ரெண்டையும் மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி குடிக்கிறோமா, அது வந்து கன்வர்ஜன். அவ்வளவுதான். So the mixed method, these are all multiple methods. இது வந்து mixed method யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Then triangulation. So that's all about the research design, different research designs. So basically, the research design are classified quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method. Okay, so which supports to control our error, So I said there are two types of error, internal and external. Threats to the validity will be controlled by choosing the appropriate research design. So thank you for the great opportunity given to me. And one variable is left. And apart from that, so at the final, I have, I think, the last, this is the, kindly use the chart to select your research design. I have given 3 charts to select which qualitative, which quantitative, which mixed method is suitable. Okay, which qualitative, which quantitative. Here you are now. In first question, relationship between variable, yes or no? Yes, correlation design. No, comparative design. That's all. Then in comparative design, again, yes or no. So you can go with the same way. Finally, you can come up with all design. So it is very easy to select a design for your study by using this chart. So it will be shared to you. Use this chart. Is there any queries or doubt? Well, you can call back. I will explain. So here I have listed the number of research design. These are all the threads on left side. No. These are all threats to the research work, whether which design will control. Single star, minimum control. Double star, maximum control. The subject variability will be controlled by design 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The first 3 design will not control the subject knowledge or background or history. Okay, so these are the way to control your error in your research works. So finally, thank you all for your patience listening. I am very sorry. This is the first time out of my more than 45 presentation through online. I have struggled with many times due to the network problem. This is the first time, so I am very sorry. And once again, I thank the opportunity given to me by the Annamalai University Department of Population Studies and Department of Management, particularly Sunil sir, who contacted me and given this beautiful opportunity. Thank you, Sunil sir, and thank you all for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful, informative session with a very structured presentation. Research is endless. Like that, the theory research also endless. It is a cyclic process. You had given many tips to the budding researchers, especially the reputed journals expecting mixed method. Like that, you had given tips or very useful, sir. Thank you so much. There are so many appreciations in the chat box. Thanks for all feedbacks, dear participants. Due to short of time, we are moving to we are going to conclude this first session. Actually, we are having valedictory session next. So I call upon research scholar Nandini from Department of Business Administration, Annamalai University, to deliver the vote of thanks. Yes, Nandini. Nandini, we are not able to hear your voice.
Where is that? என்னம்மா இப்படியா இது வர வர நான் தான் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் போறேன்.
Nandini, please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, continue, Nandini.
I am Nandini, research scholar. In this great juncture, I am followed to put forward my vote of thanks. The escalating knowledge of the S. Sethu Sankaran, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education and Schools, enlightened the session is a perfect spark for this workshop. My sincere sense of gratitude, Dr. S. Sethu Sankaran, for this time. I would like to place my heartfelt thanks to the management of both departments, Dr. A.K. Ravishankar and Dr. J. Udayasuriyan, Organizing Secretary, Dr. T. Frank Sunil Justice, Dr. M. Ravi Prakash, and Organizing Committee members, Dr. K. Shivkumar, Dr. S. Pandian, Dr. Vaimota Devi, Dr. Kubaleni, Dr. Gurumurthy, and Dr. Rukmani for the endued backing. Faculty from the institution and external for the presence and participation. We have learned deeper and eminence knowledge on this pathway. There are different pathways that lead to enlightenment. We could say that pathway to research excellence organized by Annamalai University that leads to enlightenment in our scholars. Once again, thank you all for all your cooperation.
Okay, thank you so much, Nandini. Thanks for the vote of thanks. Okay, we are moving to the next session, valedictory session. Due to short of time, we are moving to the next session. I just call upon Rajesh sir. Okay, this is the beginning of everything we want. Yes, this is the time for prayer. I call upon Dr. Rajesh, Fine Arts Faculty and Coordinator of Cultural Path, Annamalai University. Following the Tamil Thai Vaalthu, he is going to sing Arasar Vaalthu. Welcome, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself and talk, sir.